Welcome back to another episode of Palace Customs Garage, guys. Today's episode, well, my F100 that I call Cherry is going to be in for a lot of upgrades. If you saw the last video, I posted a sneak peek of my cardboard sheet of all the things we're going to do to it. So the first step, we got to remove the hood and the front clip. This is the last time this truck's going to sound like this. All right, so I got all the wires off the actual core support and engine bay. They're all kind of just dangling right there. This is for the fan. I need to get the fan and radiator off, but right now I'm just letting the coolant drain. Batteries off, batteries obviously disconnected. Got the bumper off too, so making some good progress. Just kind of playing a waiting game right now. Let the coolant drain. I am gonna replace the coolant. That's why I put it in a dirty bucket, because that coolant's pretty freaking old. So I'm sure it's time for some new coolant. We've got some mics now, which is kind of cool. Some of the proceeds from selling the tractor went to new mics, Palace Customs upgrades. Hopefully the quality is a lot better. Some of these clips you're going to hear mics, some of these clips you're not. I'm going to try to remember to keep my mic on all the time, but this is new to me. So if some of the clips are a little clear and some of them are a little bleh, forgive me. So kind of at a little stopping point for now. Not really. Kind of, actually. Got the radiator out, obviously, as you can see that. Everything is loose. As you see, as far as the front clip. I mean, that says it all. I got this one off, this body mount off for the front. It's loose. I still need to get that one. You got to kind of do the old just kind of fish for the bolt. I don't even know what I'm on. Yikes. Yikes, yikes, yikes. This is gonna be fun. I'm just gonna leave this here. There's a whole lot of things that could go wrong, but we'll see what happens. Front clip is obviously out of the way, as you can tell. Cherry's up on the lift. I've already removed some of the belt housing bolts. I'm not doing the torque converter bolts, or studs, I guess you could say. I got, oh, other way. I just got one more. Then I can lower it and get the rest of the
bell housing bolts. My starter, oh, my chain is hitting my mic. I'm sure that was very loud. And you're probably gonna hear me burp. Sorry. Gotta get used to these mics. Oh. So, I don't have an inspection cover either, which explains why my starter's stupid loud. Probably gonna make one because you can't find them anywhere. And if you can, people are asking a stupid price for them. So, I think I'll, got a metal brake, got an English wheel, got scrap metal. I'm sure they're not hard to make. I'm gonna take the headers off. I'm gonna unbolt the motor from the headers, then pull the motor out. Then once they're out, I'll pull the headers out because I'm gonna wrap them up in heat wrap. Because that starter keeps frying, probably because A, oil drips on it. I'm sure that can't be good for it. From the valve covers, they're leaking. Hence why I got some more heavy duty ones right there because the valve covers are warped. Then I was gonna say something else and I forgot. Oh, that's an O'Reilly starter. That thing's junk. I got a Power Master. I've had it in a storage cabinet over there for years, but the thing is I have to modify the block. I have to like trim up a little bit for it to fit, which kind of sucks. So that's that. Let me make sure this torque converter only has 4 studs. I'm like 90% sure all torque converters do, but you know my luck. Okay, they're all out. Wonderful. Let's sweep up a little bit, then drop cherry. Then I think, yeah, I can get the motor mounts from it just sitting right there. Yeah, my drain plug, I know the camera's kind of far apart, is right here, right above the cross member. So I have a truck FE oil pan. That's a car FE oil pan. I have a truck one from a 67 F100. It had a 360 in it that we turned into a 390. If you want to see that video, I'll put the link in my description below. It's a pretty cool video. All FEs are physically the same on the outside, externally the same. So that truck oil pan should bolt up. Here's the thing. I don't know where the drain plug is on it. I mean, it might be in the exact same spot or somewhere up here. I may have to get a rear sump oil pan. Oil pans are freaking expensive. I'm trying to think. Bell housing is disconnected where the bolts are. I may have to take the starter out. But that's like right there, so that should be easy. What's funny is 10 years ago, roughly, me and my dad were in a storage unit. I was 10 years old and we were building this truck for the first time. Let me make sure it doesn't freaking lay on the harness. It's pretty crazy how fast 10 years goes by. 10 years later, I'm working on this thing, adding my own touches to it. So that's pretty cool. Is everything out way in the front? Ah, good thing I double checked. That would have been an oof. Where's the broom? Oh. I need to plug those automatic transmission lines. They keep leaking. All right. What possibly could we be stuck on now? There goes the starter. Hopefully that didn't destroy anything. Oh, that's what I forgot. No, I didn't forget that. Never mind. All the engine coolant. Huh. The automatic transmission is the C6 is being rested onto the headers. Is it even bolted to the cross member? I didn't even touch the cross member. I guess just the weight of it. Interesting. Well, that's how you remove a 428, guys and gals. Motor is on the engine stand. Man, that is going to wrap it up for today, day one, because I am smoked, like absolutely freaking tired. My back hurts, everything. I'm wore out. Pretty good success, pretty good, progress. It started this morning. I ran it this morning. And now this is where we're at. So it's like 5:30, I think, right now. I mean, 4 hours I debated of the day. I debated if I was going to pull the front clip on myself with the engine hoist. So I could have been done a whole lot sooner. But oh well, y'all know how it goes. So looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. Day two, I'm gonna try to break down the motor, get it cleaned up and everything. Take all my measurements. Then maybe my dad will be here for day two. So hopefully he can come in and start working on wiring, cleaning up the engine bay and whatnot, patching up holes. So I got the 428 on the engine stand. I did go ahead and take the distributor off and the spark plug wires, and I kind of let it soak in some degreaser overnight. So I'm gonna start cleaning this thing up. I am gonna take the front drive off. I'm mainly focused on cleaning the block because I'm putting new heads on it and stuff. And once I disassemble it, I'll take the intake off and pressure wash it separately. But I am gonna leave everything on there. I am gonna go ahead and take these off and put some junkier FE valve covers I have. And I'm gonna take the rocker arm shaft off because that'll close all the valves. That way no water gets inside the cylinder and dirt and grime and whatnot. So gonna do that, then pressure wash it, clean it up, then get it ready for paint.
Well, here's kind of a poopy part I just found myself into. See these valves? They're kind of uneven on some of them. They have some wear on them, right? Well, you may be thinking, aren't you replacing your heads? Don't worry about it. Well, I was going to run the factory rocker arms. So if there's a wear pattern on the tip of the valve, guess what that means? More than likely there's wear on the tips right here. I can feel that right there. I don't want to ruin new valves. So I got two choices. I can try to find some factory, some used old school ones like those. Or I can get some new ones. Here's the problem with new ones. Procom Speedmaster are the cheapest ones. They're like $300-400, right? You read any reviews on them, they all suck because they're all Chinese garbage. So the next brand is either Harland, I think. Those are like $1,500. Or I think PRW sells some. So I think those are like $700. That is not what I was really wanting to find. Man, oh man. Anyway, I'm gonna put the valve cover back on, then just go clean it, then do some research. Man, this thing turned out pretty cool. Looks real nice. Looks really nice. So I'm gonna take the intake off and power wash it more once I tear down a short block. I just didn't want to get too much water down the runners and in the plenum. But while I'm here, I'll kind of show you. So the reason I got the new heads built, they're the C8 AE-H, which is 390 GT heads and passenger car 428 heads. C6 AE-R is the passenger head. C1 AE is the driver head. That's why I got the C8 AE-H heads rebuilt, because these are two different heads, completely two different heads. So me and my dad built this in 2017, so we didn't really, and it was in a storage unit, so our knowledge then wasn't as much as it is today now. I mean, I was in 7th grade and we didn't know much about FEs. We were just trying to build the motor just to get it running for me in high school. So now that I have it in my hands, I'm gonna do everything the proper way now. So I'm gonna take the heads off and I'm gonna measure intake ports and exhaust ports and whatnot, because I mean chambers could be two different sizes, ports could be two different sizes. So it's definitely gonna be nice to have a correct set of heads that are appeared correct to this block. I've been trying to find the casting numbers of the block. C6 ME. So that'd be a 66 block. That's pretty rad. My truck's 66. So yeah, this 428's gonna be looking all nice and spiffy. Can't remember if I stated it, but it's a scratch block. You can see right there. Pretty rad. Pretty rad. Got the block back in the shop. I'm going to just start tearing down and ripping things apart. All right, here is the old dealio on the 428. All right, guys. It's completely stripped down, or at least the rotating assembly and the oil system is in it. I did verify all the oil galley plugs are there, oil restriction. So this is just a naturally idling low oil pressure FE, which is very normal for FEs to idle or idle at low oil pressure or have low oil pressure at idle. Sorry, I can't talk. But faulty coil. The coil wire was arcing right there, so I got a new MSD blaster too. It's sitting on the bed, and I got some new stuff to repair the coil wire, a new A terminal and boot. There's the cam, old cam. I'm gonna paint it tomorrow. I'm pretty tired today. Being stressed out all day wore me out. But here is the deal on this 5-day refresh. Okay, sorry, I don't have my mic on. Hopefully you can still hear me. I'm pretty close, so I think you could hear me. This is supposed to be a 5-day refresh. I was supposed to refresh the motor, throw the cam in, break in the new cam, throw the EFI in, rewire it 5 days, because I have the entire week off of work. The 5-day refresh turned into, I got PRW rocker arms on the way. They should be here in 4 to 5 days. And I got a 3-4 inch drop from DJM coming in, which is dropped I-beams, shackle kit, everything. So little refresh, the little 5-day refresh turned into I'm now waiting on parts. They'll be here next week. And this motor refresh turned into a whole bunch of other stuff. So this little cardboard thing I have right here, yeah, that's useless. Am I a little frustrated? Kind of. But the thing is I drove this truck hard
for 2 years as my daily driver in high school, in a high school parking lot. You can imagine what high school me did with a 66 F100. A lot of burnouts. I had one oil change that entire time. This motor has seen some stuff, and it deserves a good refresh. So I'm not mad that I'm having to do all this. I'm not mad I'm having to do suspension stuff. The suspension stuff's more of a want, to be honest. I want this truck a little lower because I don't want to do Crown Vic, because Crown Vic, once you do it's kind of permanent because you got to weld stuff on. I would eventually like to do 4-link, QA1 4-link, and a QA1 front kit. But if you're familiar with QA1, the prices are pretty up there. DJM, very affordable. I just graduated trade school, so I'm still in that kind of college finance student life, all right? So I haven't made QA1 money yet. But the DJM kit is coming in, so that should be here next week. I'm going to do a whole video of that. I was going to fit, the original plan was to fit the entire 5-day refresh in this video. That's not going to happen. What's going to happen in this video is I'm going to finish rebuilding the 428, get it all nice and painted, degree the cam, all that. Then we have an engine run stand that's coming soon, and we're going to run this motor on an engine run stand. So I'm going to make a whole separate video of running this thing on an engine run stand, setting it up. I've never done that. My dad's never done that. So y'all are going to figure out when we figure out. So that is that. Moral of the story is, when you're in this hobby and when you are building a vehicle, when you are already somewhere, like when I already have the front clip off, if you can, do everything at once. Do I need the drop kit right now? Not really, but I'm already here. Just do it. Do things the right way. When you're doing things one way, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. Just do things the right way. That's basically the moral story. Could I run those rocker arms right now, the shaft mounted rocker arms, because they're a little worn and they wore the guides out, they wore the valves out on the old heads, the tips of them? Can I run them now? Probably. The engine would run. Is it the right way? No, not really. So yes, this sets me back as far as progress a little bit, but I know it's going to be done the right way. I know it's going to be done the professional way, if I can even call myself professional. So if it means you got to spend a little more money and it means you got to push your progress back, but you know at the end of the day, it is done the right way, just do it. Some things you can skip out on and you can go a little shortcuts. Motor-wise, don't skip out on it. It's cheap insurance to upgrade. It gives you peace of mind, and you don't have to be sleeping like my buddy Donnie. Donnie, if you're watching this, me and him were talking about it today. He had a random midnight thought, oh crap, why does my 300 inline 6 have low compression? When you upgrade things and you do things the right way, you eliminate those midnight thoughts of like, oh crap, that torqued that bolt. Oh crap, what if this happens? Oh crap, what if this happens? Because we've all been there, and those midnight thoughts suck. So sorry for the rant, and sorry for the little TED talk, but that's going to wrap it up for tonight. Tomorrow, I'm going to start painting the engine, and we're going to get the engine almost buttoned up. All right, it's a new day in the shop. Block is somewhat cleaned for the most part. This is the kind of order of things I'm going to do. So to break in the camshaft, whether it's on an engine run stand or in the truck, we are going to do, or I'm going to keep it carbureted. Because I know the carburetor will fire right up, and I don't want to break in the EFI while trying to do a break-in of a flat tappet cam, because with EFI, or at least the one EFI kit that we installed back on our 86 F-150 a long time ago, not a long time ago, it was like last year, it was a Summit EFI system, which is very similar to Phytech system, which is what I'm going to run on the 428. Well, it would spit and sputter and kind of drop down and drop RPMs and whatnot. Well, I can't have that while I'm breaking in a cam. So I'm cleaning up the a thingamawopper that goes on the cam to allow the fuel pump to work. I forget what that thing is called. The plunger, I guess. No, that's on the actual fuel pump. I forget what that thing's called, but the circle thing and the cam thrust plate, I'm cleaning right now, sending the parts washer. I'm going to install the cam, degree it, everything. Then after that, I'm going to put the timing cover on, oil pan on, then I'll paint the block, then I'll paint the head separately. And if we can get everything painted today, we are in good shape. All right, we got this guy over here. He's gonna be our wiring guy. Don't you love wiring?
Yay! About as much as I like doing drum brakes.
The good news is we did stuff the correct way this time and bought a legit wiring harness for a vehicle specific.
American Auto Wire. Shout out to them. We got one of their kits. So this truck's on the wiring should go a lot smoother than any old regular one, because we bought a universal hot rod one off eBay for blue, and that was a pain in the rear. Also, side note, Dad, we're going to plug this up too, because I won't need a choke anymore.
Okay.
Because of EFI. So
Hey, are you still filming?
yeah.
Okay. Note to everybody that's working on their 66 Ford F100's.
Yeah.
If you want to get rid of the speedometer cable, don't cut the e-brake.
Yeah. Oopsie. Yeah. Who did that crap?
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna have to plug that up.
So, I decided to live life on the edge and go the hydraulic flat tappet cam shaft. Why did I do this? Because I'd rather not spend $1,400 on a roller lifter style camshaft. I'd rather just take the chance. So, with that being said, we are going to go step by step and do exactly what Howard's Cams tells me to do for insurance purposes and to make sure that I legit do this the correct way. Because I've never installed a high performance hydraulic flat tappet camshaft before. So, step 2, because we're gonna have to, I don't have my valve train, like my rocker arms for correct push rods yet, because they haven't come in yet, but I'm gonna install the cam and degree it. So, it says to coat each cam lobe with assembly lube, what they gave me right here, and cover with oil during assembly. Got some oil in here. It states use a light viscosity 5W20 or 10W30 weight, non-synthetic. You see it right there. We all see it. That's what's in there. So we should be good to go. Also, this camshaft came with lifters. Let me grab them. Well, bam, hydraulic flat tappet lifters. Set them right there for a second. Then it came with a new guide pin. Hopefully this is for a double roller. If not, I could be in a little of a bind because I have a single roller on my camshaft right now, and I got a new double roller, but it did not come with one of these. So I'm hoping this is for a double roller. So let's coat the sucker up.
All right, guys. So the crankshaft or turning the engine got in a bind, and me and my dad are like, "What the crap? What happened? Why is it binding up?" Well, I'll show you. That's what happened. The bolt for the thrust plate was hitting the double roller. So, I know, right? All my engine plans today just went.
But of all the things it could be, that's the best it.
Yeah.
And luckily we found it out now.
Yeah. Well, it's never a good sign when the crank's out, pistons are out, micrometer sets out, and whatnot. Not at all. Long story short, the camshaft was not, the timing set was not on, and I was rotating the crank, or just the rotating assembly, and felt a bind. So I checked all the pistons, and number 6 was installed, the connector rod was installed the wrong way. So it was binding up and was causing some premature wear to the bearings. Luckily, we caught it before anything worse could have happened, and I'm just glad, because this big end of the connector rod, the chamfer right here, is supposed to face towards the counterweight of the crankshaft. Well, it was facing towards the other connecting rod, so it was binding up and whatnot. And these are Le Mans rods, or Le Mans style rods, so I didn't really want to damage them. So got new bearings. I'm gonna not film this because you've seen me put pistons in before. So I'm gonna put your bearings in, slap the rotating assembly back together, get the camshaft all dialed in, then we can start degreeing it. All right, starting to look like a motor again. Got the new heads on. These are some reworked heads I got. C8 AE-H. These are 390 GT or passenger 428 heads. So it is correct since I do. Scratch what I said earlier. I have an A-Scratch block and I did some more research. A-Scratch is passenger car or police interceptor. The 428 blocks. A C-Scratch, like a C, would be Cobra Jet. So I have a police interceptor block, but I have a 1U crank, which is police interceptor or 428. Then I have six C6 AE-C rods. So I have basically a Cobra Jet crank, Le Mans rods, 40 over pistons, and a police interceptor block with C8 AE-H heads. So these heads have been reworked. They got my matching valve springs to match my cam, new guides, stainless valves, hardened seats. So definitely an upgrade from these mismatched ones. I did measure the ports on these, do match. So somebody port matched one of these heads to the other head. I don't know which one which, but what I do know is like my ports on these are like 5/1000ths of an inch smaller. So I'm not really worried about it if those are smaller, because I will definitely make it up with the EFI and the cam. So that's pretty cool. With all that to say, I'm gonna torque these down. I did get some head bolts somewhere. I can't remember where I put them. I may have not grabbed them. Maybe I'm a little acoustic. Where are they? Oh, here they are. Got some ARP studs. So put these in. I can't remember if these are studs or bolts. These may be bolts, but ARP all the way. I have ARP rod bolts, ARP, I just got ARP intake bolts, ARP head bolts. ARP is the way to go. Stock head bolts are torque to yield, so over time they stretch. So you definitely want to consider that when you are building a motor. Got the long block all basically built. Heads are on, torqued. I do want to make a note that when torquing heads and using ARP, actually any head bolts really, make sure which ones go through wire jackets and which ones don't. Like on an FE, the bottom ones don't. So you use the Ultra Torque ARP lubricant. But the top ones that are in the actual head that the valve cover covers, those do go to the wire jacket. So make sure you put thread sealant on that so you don't cause any leaks. But so I'm switching to a truck style oil pan. Drain plug's right there on the bottom part of the sump, where a car oil pan, the drain plug is right there in the middle of the sump. So the baffles are a little different, but they should work. So make my oil changes a whole lot easier. So I'm gonna put this on, tape up the motor, then paint the sucker. I'm excited to see it Ford blue, like old school Ford blue. Like, let me show you. Like this Ford blue. Man, it's gonna look so good. I'm excited to see it. I really am. Yeah, freaking buddy. That looks good. A couple spots I just need to touch up with some acetone or lacquer thinner to clean up, but that's what a proper FE should look like. Obviously, these are not my spark plugs I'm going to be keeping in here. I'll just put them in here so I can paint. But nice. Thing looks good. Also going with a truck style oil filter housing, which is this one. That way I can run a bigger filter. Get ready. I'm just not going to use the car filter housing anymore. I got to take the oil pressure sending unit off, but I'm going to let this soak in parts washer, get some of this grime off. So a lot has happened to the 428. I haven't really updated y'all on, mainly because there's a lot of repetitive process in my videos. You know, I've done a lot of engine stuff before, and I don't really want to keep showing the same thing on the channel. So I did put the intake on. Intake is RTV'd all through here, the China wall, RTV right here because this likes to leak. Felpro gasket, intake gasket. Cleaned up pretty nice. Not
looking real good. Got the new metal table in that me and my dad made in the shop. I do have my pulleys I painted black right here. This is a high torque mini starter. I'm gonna clock. Once I take the headers off, I'm gonna mount the headers on the side of the passenger side of the engine. Then I'm gonna put a bell housing on that I have to clock the starter, make sure it's all good. Then a couple other things. But right now, I'm gonna try to put the water pump on. I already put it on once, but then I forgot that it's easier to put the intake on first, so that we can put the water pump on and just slide the rubber piece, because there's a rubber piece that goes right here that connects to right there. And it's much easier to put the water pump on second after you already have the intake on. So I'm gonna do that. Then I'm gonna paint the thermostat housing. Yeah, I guess the housing elbow, paint that a color. Probably gonna paint that Ford blue, same blue. Got some primer. Got the intake, not intake, coolant temperature sensor in for the FiTech system. Like I said, I've said this before. I know I have. This has been a real long video, but I'm gonna repeat myself again because I'm gonna break in the engine with the carburetor. Then once you do the cam break in, go back and break in the FiTech. But I'm gonna paint that. Gonna paint this, then paint a couple of the brackets. I want to try to get the front drive all mounted up. Then I'm going to do my rocker arms, which I have PRW rocker arms. If you saw my Instagram, not my Instagram, or yeah, if you did see my Instagram reel and my YouTube short, you'll notice that PRW sent me a banner, some stickers, and his rocker arms. So I'm going to make a full video installing these rocker arms and how to do it, because it's kind of a Lego set. You gotta kind of make them. But I'll give you a little sneak video or sneak little preview of what they look like. That video will probably come after this video if all goes to plan, which usually it doesn't. But that is that. I know it may seem like I'm not really filming a lot on this. It's just there's been so much going on that I've been kind of frustrated, so I don't really want to be on the camera frustrated. But that's why I haven't really seemed to film a lot of this. But I'm really just trying to highlight the important stuff, because there's been a lot of background stuff that's gotten in the way and very triggering. And like I said, I don't want to be filming while I'm pissed off, basically. So that's why I haven't. But the motor is on the right track. I'm getting new wheels and tires for Cherry. You'll see that in an upcoming video. It's supposed to be a week project, but it's like week 3 right now. That's usually how all projects go, right? I've said that in this video before too, but I do have the welder out right now because I'm patching up firewall holes. So that's going to come soon. But in this video, I'm going to try to get the front drive done and all that. Then the next video will be the rocker arms. So I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to try to get this water pump on and show you how I do it. Get the front drive all painted and everything. Then it'll be golden. Here's my balancer. This is a FOMO Co. originally Police Interceptor stamped balancer. I'm gonna try to restore it. It's pretty cool. A lot of people probably have aftermarket balancers, but this is an OG balancer. So it makes part of my build kind of cool. So I'm gonna prime it, then paint it blue. This is where the 428 stands. Got the pulley on as well as the balancer. That balancer turned out phenomenally. And got the pointer painted as well. Motor's coming together, really coming together. It's looking pretty nice and fresh. I'm about to hook up all the alternator brackets and the water pump pulley as well as the thermostat. then that'll probably wrap up today's video. I wanted to put the oil filter housing on, the truck one. There's the alternator right there. But I have the truck one hanging from right here. I did just finish painting it. Looks amazing. Had it in the sonic cleaner for a little bit, then painted it. Turned out really well. Really nice and smooth. I was going to install this, but I forgot. I don't know where the bolts are for that. That's the only part I misplaced the bolts. So I'm going to have to find some bolts for that. But I just see the Mustang is in with the hood off. That's never good. But we're going to try to wrap up the alternator, brackets, and the accessory drive, then thermostat, and call it a day for the video. I had lost my oil filter housing bolts. Well, no need to fear. I have this new organizer right here with all of our miscellaneous nuts, bolts, washers, and stuff. I found the ones I needed. How cool is that? Already kind of test tried one and used some lock washers we had laying around right there. So I'm going to get this housing on, and that will wrap up this video. And that way I can post it. Check that out. Bam, bop, boom. Oil filter housing's on. Oil sending unit is on. What else do we have here? Fuel pump is on. Man, she's a beauty, Clark, isn't she? Wow. Just wow. Man, I can't wait to hear this thing run. That's going to wrap it up for today's video, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. I know it was kind of a little hectic, a lot of things going on, you know. Front clip's right there, the motor's apart, or was apart, then got built back together and all that. And then over here we have Cherry looking all kind of sad and everything. Got the Fairlane back there. So a lot of stuff's going on in this video. I know that I hate to do it, but it's going to be a multi-part series. All right, I know, I hate to do it, but it's just I'm waiting on parts, I'm waiting on time, and time and money is pretty valuable. So I'm kind of losing time. But the DJM drop beams are on the way. Something else is on the way, I think. I can't remember. It'll come to me. But yeah, drop beams are on the way. That's going to be a whole video on itself. I am going to be doing something cool with the headers. That will probably be a whole video on itself. Just a little video. Something else. I can't remember. Oh, PRW FE roller rocker arms. That'll be a whole video setting that up, explaining how you do that. Kind of be a learning video for y'all and a learning video for me. So stay tuned for that. But like I said, thank you all so much for watching today's video. If you like the content, if you want to see more of Cherry and the Fairlane, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I have a lot of videos on the Fairlane. Once Cherry is done and I get this whole 5-day refresh done, I am going to be going back on the Fairlane. We have a lot of fun stuff planned for that, so stay tuned for that. I'm going to stop talking. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope to see you in the next one. Peace out.